Hello, I am going to be going over some example problems following lesson 15. What I've done here is I've made a table with different terms that are associated with different operations. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And what we're going to do is for each of these examples, I want you to write two word expressions for each problem using different math vocabulary. So you're going to be using these words, okay? So first thing we want to do is we want to identify which operations are happening in each of these expressions. So 2D, okay, if I have a number by a variable, that's multiplication, and then I have subtraction symbol, and then 4. So I'm going to be choosing words from this part of the table for the multiplication portion of this, and this part of the table for the subtraction portion. Okay, and there's lots of possibilities for this. So like there's not one right answer here. Okay, so I am going to do 2 multiplied by D minus 4 for this one. That's just one. Okay, so what I'll have you do is you are going to fill in the second one. So this is just kind of like my example, okay? Does that make sense? We have 2 times D, that's 2D, that's multiplication, and then I'm subtracting the 4. So 2 multiplied by D minus 4. And again, that's only one of many words in this section. So I used multiply, and I used minus, but I could have used product, times. For multiplication, I could have used subtract, decrease, less than, difference for the subtraction. Okay, so that kind of wraps up that one. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 has B, and then when you have it over with this line here, that means division, and then C plus 5. So you're dividing B by the total here of C and 5. Okay, so I'm using addition and division. What's important here is that you're dividing B by C plus 5, so you're not dividing B by C and then plus 5, so it's just important, I think, to use the word sum in this example. So I would write, or one example I could do is B, or the quotient of B and the sum of C plus, or C and 5. Actually, I could use plus. So that one's a little tricky. Do your best with it. Again, you want to be choosing one word from the division column, and then you definitely want to be using the word sum here for the addition column. All right. Moving along, we have example 3, 7 plus 3 times B. So I have addition and multiplication. So I'm going to be choosing a word from here and a word from here. Okay. So I'm going to do 7. I'm going to use the word increased. Increased by, let's see which words I've already used for multiplication. I used multiplied, so why don't I go ahead and use times here. So I'm going to do 7 increased by 3 times B. So I have the 7 plus, that's 7 increased, and then 3 times B, 3 times B, like that. So you're going to try to come up with another example that doesn't use both of these exact terms. Maybe you could say like 7 plus 3 multiplied by B, or you could even say 7 plus 3 times B. You don't have to use both of the words differently. Okay, erase that. For example 4, we have addition, okay, but we want to indicate that the subtraction is happening first because we have this in parentheses. So when you're talking about the answer to a subtraction problem, so obviously we're using addition and subtraction here. But if we're talking about the answer to a subtraction problem, we definitely want to use the word difference. Okay? Or you could say maybe b minus 5 and then add the a. That could work too. So I'm going to say a more than, I haven't used that yet, the difference of b and 5. Okay, so I have a more than is the a plus, and then the difference of b and 5 is b minus 5 here. Okay, now this one's pretty straightforward. It's just d divided by 4. So I could say the quotient of d and 4. I could say d split into 4 parts, or I could just simply say d divided by 4 for that. So I'm not actually even going to type that out. That one's pretty straightforward. Okay, here I have 20 minus 3 times c. So I have subtraction, and I have multiplication. Okay, so let's see. I could do 20 subtract the product of 3 and c. So again, that's just one example of a written expression I could use to describe this expression here. There's lots of different possibilities. You just kind of want to stick to these terms. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. I know some of you struggled a little bit with the Edpuzzle. I am available through Google Hangouts and Google Meet if you need any help. I'm happy to help you. Let me know if there's anything I can do. All right, have a great day and good luck.